The system needs you poor. Bitcoin doesn't. The system wants you poor. It needs you poor. Because if you weren't poor, if you weren't always scrambling, always one paycheck away from disaster, you might start asking questions the system doesn't want you to ask. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to save? How no matter how much you work, bills rise faster than your wages? How every dollar you earn seems to slip through your fingers? That isn't an accident, it's by design. Governments and central banks depend on your poverty. They need inflation. They need debt. Because without it, the machine that feeds them collapses. But here's the truth they don't want you to hear. Bitcoin doesn't need you poor. In fact, Bitcoin doesn't need you at all. It doesn't need your permission, your labor, or your obedience. Bitcoin simply exists, outside their system, outside their control, outside their endless hunger for your time and energy. But let's go back, because to understand why the system needs you poor, you need to see how it was built. Money used to be sound, backed by something real, something scarce. But once governments realized they could print it at will, everything changed. Think about it. If you can create money out of thin air, why would you ever stop? Why wouldn't you buy votes, fund wars, and bail out the powerful? Why wouldn't you drown the people in debt while telling them they're free? And that's the trap. You're told to work harder, go to school longer, take on more debt, but the more you play their game, the more trapped you become. Your hours get converted into dollars, and those dollars get devalued the moment they touch your hands. This is why the system needs you poor. It feeds on your effort while quietly stealing from you through inflation. And when you finally realize it, they tell you it's your fault, that you didn't budget right, that you didn't hustle hard enough. But then along came Bitcoin, a system that flipped the script entirely. No rulers, no bailouts, no endless printing, just rules. Immutable, transparent, unchangeable. Bitcoin doesn't need you to be poor, because Bitcoin doesn't steal from you. It doesn't dilute itself. It doesn't punish you for saving. It rewards patience. It rewards discipline. It rewards those who see through the lies. And that's why the system fears it, because suddenly, for the first time in history, there's a way out, a key to the cage that's been around you your whole life. Now ask yourself, why do governments mock it? Why do bankers dismiss it? Why does every mainstream article call it dangerous, a scam, or a bubble? It's simple, because Bitcoin exposes the scam they've been running for decades. They need you broke, desperate, reliant on their promises. But Bitcoin says, you don't need them at all, and that terrifies them. Imagine a world where saving actually worked, where 1 hour of labor today still had value 10, 20, even 50 years from now. That's what Bitcoin makes possible. And once people realize that, the old system crumbles. But here's the trick. They don't want you to realize it, so they'll distract you, divide you, keep you chasing trends, chasing debt, chasing survival, while quietly, their money machine robs you in broad daylight. Every fiat currency in history has died. Every single one. And each time, the people holding it lost everything. But now, for the first time, humanity has a lifeboat. Bitcoin doesn't ask you to trust it. It proves itself, block by block, transaction by transaction, mathematically sound, globally decentralized, immune to corruption. It simply exists and waits for you to see the truth. This is why the elites quietly mock it in public, but buy it in private. They know. They know the game is ending, and they don't want you to have a seat at the table. They need you poor, because poor people don't resist. Poor people obey. Poor people don't have time to study history or question the rules. But Bitcoin doesn't care if you're rich or poor. It doesn't care if you're a banker or a farmer, a CEO or a student. It treats everyone the same. One Bitcoin is one Bitcoin, no matter who you are. Think about how rare that is. In a world built on hierarchy, favoritism, corruption, and manipulation, Bitcoin offers absolute fairness. And that's why it feels like forbidden knowledge, because it's the truth they never wanted you to hear. The system thrives on scarcity of freedom, not scarcity of money. It tells you freedom is dangerous, but debt is normal. It tells you saving is pointless, but spending is patriotic. Bitcoin flips that upside down. It says, saving is powerful, spending is your choice, and freedom isn't negotiable. So, what happens when millions of people realize this at once? When they stop playing the game? When they opt out of poverty, out of manipulation, out of quiet theft? The answer is simple. The old world begins to die. But here's the twist. The system will fight back harder than ever. They'll roll out propaganda, new laws, maybe even new digital currencies. They'll tell you Bitcoin is evil, or outdated, or unsafe, because they know. Once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. You start to wonder, why do I spend my life trading time for money that loses value? Why do I need permission to access my own funds? Why do banks get bailed out, but people get left behind? And that's when the illusion starts to crack. That's when you realize the system doesn't work for you. It works against you. It always has. The system needs you poor. But Bitcoin doesn't. Bitcoin doesn't care who you are, where you're from, or how much you have. It only cares that you play by the same rules as everyone else. And that's the secret. That's the hidden knowledge you were never meant to uncover. Because once you know it, you're dangerous to the system. So the question is, will you keep playing their game, or will you step outside of it and see the world for what it really is? The choice is yours. Stay poor in their system, or build real wealth in one that doesn't need you poor. If this feels like forbidden knowledge, it's because it is. But now you've seen it. Now you know the truth. And here's the truth about truth. Once it's in your mind, it can't be erased. Once you've glimpsed freedom, you can't pretend you didn't. The system will keep whispering lies, but you'll hear them differently now. You'll recognize the trap, and you'll know there's a way out. That way out is Bitcoin, and the system hates that you even know its name. Because if enough people discover this, if enough people step away from the cage, the system collapses. Not with violence, not with protest, but with silence, with exit, with freedom. That's the real revolution. Quiet, unstoppable, inevitable. So the next time you feel the weight of bills, of debt, of hopelessness, remember, it's not an accident. It's the system feeding on you. But now you also know something they don't want you to. There's another way, a way out. And it starts with understanding Bitcoin. Don't let them keep you poor. Don't let them chain you to a system designed to fail you. Step outside, learn, question, and take back what they've been stealing all along, your time. Because Bitcoin is time, locked, preserved, protected. It gives back what the system took, and it rewards those who see clearly. That's why you're here. That's why you're still watching. Because deep down, you know something isn't right. And now, you know why. The system needs you poor, but Bitcoin doesn't. If you made it this far, you're already ahead of 99% of people. You've stepped into hidden knowledge, the kind of truth that can change your life forever. So if you found this valuable, share it, because others deserve to see what you've seen. Others deserve to know the system is rigged and that there's a way out. And if you want to keep diving deeper into truths no one else is talking about, hit subscribe, because here, we don't play their game. We tell the story they don't want told. This isn't just a channel, it's a movement, a gathering of people who refuse to be kept poor, who refuse to be slaves to a broken system. The system needs you poor, but here's the secret you now carry with you. Bitcoin doesn't. The choice is yours. Stay trapped or step free. Either way, the system knows your name. but Bitcoin knows your value.